G'day, that's Slot Car Guy here, and welcome back to another slot car review. And today it is Revo's turn. Yes, I've been hanging to do a Revo review, and what a car I have. So stick around, let's do an unboxing, a teardown, and a hot lap, and let's see how quick Revo can go. So welcome back to another slot car review, and yes, it is Revo's turn, and I have been hanging to do a Revo review because these cars are unique, but they're also incredible, and I think I've got the right model to show today. But before we get into the unboxing, teardown, and hot lap, and the brief history of the company, just a massive thank you to all the followers. Thank you for following me, I really appreciate it. The comments, the thumbs up, thumbs down, dislikes. This channel is slowly growing, which I'm still surprised, but I do thank everyone for their input. And I've got some exciting things coming up to, would I say reveal, or I'll touch on some cars that I've got coming that I can do a review on. But let's get into the review. Who is Revo? Do you have a Revo car? Let me know in the comments. If you don't, you need to get one. Revo is a Chinese company. They released their first slot car in 2017, which was the Porsche GT2 911. Beautiful slot car. I think it came out in 5 liveries, and if I've got a picture, I'll throw it up. But the beauty with this company is they've joined forces with BRM. And if you don't know who BRM is, there's a video coming in the near future, so it might be a bit of a hint. BRM supply all the components for their cars, so you're in good hands. And again, if you don't know who BRM is, Google them after this video and you'll be blown away. So we know we've got a good quality car within this box. And talking about the box, let's have a quick squiz at it before we do the unboxing itself. Now, straight away, I can't hide the fact that it is a Toyota Supra, and that CAD style drawing has just given it away. What I do like about these boxes though is on top, they've got the little circle showing the livery and the car number. And I really like that touch. Let's spin it around. There's a couple more drawings. That's the front of the car, again, the other side of the car, and then the rear of the car. Really cool box design, feels like quality, it is quality, but let's zoom in, let's unbox it. What do you get in this box? Let's do a teardown because it is some unique parts on this car, and let's get this thing around my track. Alrighty, so what do we get in this box when you buy the Toyota Supra from Revo? So let's open it up. And if you remember, not long ago I did a Le Mans Miniatures review and it had a very similar style box. So, of course, you get a nice plastic cover that slips over the top of the car. But before we do that, take a look at that. Ooh, very shiny. So let's pull that out. I've already unscrewed it from the base for the ease of review, but like the Le Mans, we've got a nice little pull tab. Very, very nice little quality touch, I'll call that. So you got a nice little pull tab. This is screwed into the base. I've unscrewed it for the ease of review, but let's move that out of the way for now. And what else comes in this box? Now this, I think, is a must. So there's our liveries that come within the Supra range, but I love this detailed spreadsheet showing what parts you have on this vehicle. And if you want to replace it, there's your parts list. And then around the back, so info on the tires, and then a shopping list of what you may need if you need to replace it. Now, why this car is unique? There's some aluminium parts. Now I'll quickly show it in the book itself. Your chassis is aluminium. Also your hubs are aluminium, so we're talking quality parts here. Now in regards to spur and pinion, I like it how they tell you straight away. So we've got a 12 tooth pinion and we've got a 33 tooth spur gear. So you already know what you're running. So if you have a gear chart, you can figure that out straight away or what our ratio is. Really cool little booklet. Let's bring the car back into play, and I'll grab the Hurrell RS track. Let's get off its base, and there she is, a beautiful looking slot car. Now before we take the shell off, let's have a look at the livery itself. Now I'm a huge Castrol livery fan, and this is very iconic. The Celica GT4 came out, this Supra's come out, and it's just, it's iconic. I wouldn't say it's as good as Golf, but it's one of those iconic liveries. Right hand drive, so there we go. Straight from my country. I don't believe this car is a race car in Australia. I'm guessing it's a Chinese race car or a Japanese race car. You got a driver. We've got a half model by the looks of it. I won't be able to tell until we do a full teardown. But the decal and the paint job on this is incredible. And look at those rims. Absolutely love the white finish. So we're looking at car 36. And there's too many decals to talk about. So we'll just have a quick cruise around. At the back, If you've played Gran Turismo, this car was one of my top 10 cars that I purchased and raced back in the day. I think it was Gran Turismo 2, to be honest. Beautiful finishes around to the side, passenger side, which is like same as the driver's side, but actually a couple of details, a little tow hook at the rear there. And a nice little bit of exhaust work and some slight diffuser. Now keep in mind, this was a 90s car, so the aero kit on these wasn't as crazy as you would see today. Got a middle single windscreen wiper. We've got mirrored, actually I better show that, we've got mirrored side mirrors, so mirrored sticker. I'm going to try and zoom in on that, but it's going to be probably too small. But take my word for it, those side mirrors do have mirrored stickers. Nice cutout on the bonnet, so active aero, I always say active aero, but they're proper cutouts. And then around to the front, and the iconic front of the Supra. Absolutely love this car in real life, and these things hold some value. So beautiful looking slot car. The finish is executed beautifully, but wait until you take a look inside. So let's rip off the shell and let's have a look at what makes this thing go. So I've completed the teardown, and all it took was 4 screws to remove the shell from the chassis. And the reason that's important, if you're doing an endurance race or you're a race in general and something goes wrong, you've chewed out a spur gear, you need to change pinion, the gear ratio, a motor goes bang. This was very quick and easy to get into to change what I need to change. Seriously, seriously important. So let's remove this chassis and talk about the internals of the shell first. And as you can see, there is no active lights, but plenty of room if you have the skill to run yourself some LED lights. The cockpit is very shallow. I was expecting to see a half-size figure, but he's actually been cut off around about under the armpits. So I'd say he's a quarter-size figure. I think they're trying to save weight because it is an aluminium chassis and there's a lot of aluminium parts, which is normally heavier than the plastic. So I think they're trying to save a little bit of weight. 4 bump stops where the chassis meets the shell, and I think that'll help with body roll and potentially some shock absorbent. I could be wrong, hit the comments, but I think that's what that may do. And this rear diffuser section, which is just being plugged in, ready to go. Simple, effective, looks incredible, but again, saves weight. Now let's look at this aluminium chassis. Now I know I should be weighing this stuff. I don't have scales yet, so please don't hit the comments, but I will get some very, very soon. Now, it's a 2-piece aluminium chassis, but let's talk about the location of these screws because they're a little bit important. As you can see, there's 4 notch outs on the outside of both sides of the chassis. That's where the shell meets the chassis. And the reason there's notch outs, I think you might be able to, a little bit of play, might take some body roll off. And a trick is to try and separate the shell from the chassis so they're not rolling together, they're independent. Let's flip it upside down. It's a 2-piece aluminium chassis. It's called a floating adjustable chassis. This whole middle section here is fully removable and adjustable by these screws. Even the engine mount itself is adjustable, loose, tight, however you want it. Very, very cool. Now, while we're talking about that, let's have a look at the motor. And there's one very important thing on this motor, and it's stamped. 21,000 RPM at 12 volt. Simple, effective. Every motor that goes in a slot car should be easily identified. That's my thoughts. What's yours? Let me know in the comments. Hubs, aluminium hubs. Again, got some locator grub screws in there. You can take them off, adjust them in and out. Both axles are running 2 bearings each. Again, high quality stuff. Anodized aluminium green all over the place, including the motor mount, which is anodized aluminium green. Angle winder, can you change that? Let's have a look. It's got its own cutout. You may or may not, I'm not 100% sure, be able to get a section that changes the layout. I don't know, you'd have to check the Revoslot's website to see what parts and pieces you can do to change this up. Let's flip back around. We've got an aluminium pinion, we've got a metal pinion, 12 tooth, and we've got a nylon spur gear 33 tooth. Now I don't have a ratio chart on me, but you can quickly look that up and see what ratio this car is running. What else is on this? Obviously the guide's located in the front. It's a decent sized plastic guide. It's long but not as tall as a wood guide. I think this will go very well on a plastic track and a wooden track. Very decent sized guide, let's say. And what is missing on this car? No magnets. This is running no magnets at all. And that is about it. Beautiful looking chassis. You can see it's got BRM all over it with the aluminium parts. High quality stuff. You're buying a very high quality slot car here. Almost RC-like. Now, I'm about to do a hot lap. How do I think I'm going to go? It is missing magnets. Magnets make a massive difference in a slot car. So if you're a novice or going to be new at this might be a bit of a shock when it comes to setup and racing. How am I going to run it today? leave the tyres as they are, no gluing, no sanding. I'll screw the chassis and shell hard up and see how fast I can go around my track. So let's see how quick I can get Revo's Toyota Supra around my track.
.88 seconds. 16.39 seconds. 16.82 seconds. 16.16 seconds.
So how did Revoslot's Toyota Supra perform around my track? Well, I posted a lap time of 15:82, which I'm actually pretty happy with that. Keeping in mind, there's been no setup at all. I've gone from the box to the track, and also there's no magnet in this. It's pure setup only. And again, I haven't set the car up. So I'm pretty impressed that I got a 15:82. Yes, it's a little bit slower than some of the track times that I've run on the board, but they run magnets, hence why this time won't be posted on the board. But again, extremely high quality components. It's Chinese meets Italian. BRM have put some incredible components in this car. The quality's there, it's worth every cent. You just need to take some time to set these up, which if you're a slot car racer, this is perfect. If you're a novice, it may take some adjustment, but stick with it. It's a really good car. But it's been a fun review. I've been wanting to do a Revo slot review for a long time, and I thought it was the right time to do it now. And an awesome segue into what I said at the start of the video, that I've got some stuff coming up. BRM are sending me a couple of cars, 124 scale to test. So thank you to BRM, they're on their way. Once they get here, I'll review and test them, but they're gonna be the first 124 scale cars I've had around this track. And also, the Area 71 is sending me a printed body and chassis, and I won't tell you what car it is, which is on its way to me as well. And once that's here, I'll do a full review, a breakdown, and then a build and a race on my track. So exciting things to come. The channel is doing really well, so I appreciate everyone's input. But as always, at That Slot Car Guy, thanks everyone for your support. Take care, be safe, ciao.